Hello everyone and welcome to a foundation review that was not requested, but I saw the foundation online when I was ordering something else and I felt a need to test it out. It just looked really nice, and also apologies for my still slightly wet hair. A little throwback to when I used to film with like really wet hair and then people got really upset about it. So apologies to those of you who it bothers, but otherwise to those of you who it doesn't, who still want to stick with me and watch this foundation review, I have got this new foundation here, or new to me anyways. This is the VDL Perfect-Lasting Foundation. I had never heard of VDL before. As far as I know, they are new to Ulta. They are a Korean cosmetic brand. They say that they make our most vivid makeup desires a reality. They're a dynamic brand for the modern young woman, pursuing her boldest dreams and desires, blah blah blah, global blah. Like I said, they're a makeup brand. They're new to Ulta. It's online only as far as I can see in terms of, you know, Ulta being online only. And by that, I mean, obviously there are Ulta stores, but the foundation you won't find in stores, at least not at the moment. This is $35 for 1.01 ounce of product, so a little bit over an ounce. A really hard time picking out a shade. There are only 12 shades available, and you know, for a Korean makeup brand, I feel like that's pretty good. I'm thinking, because usually like Korean BB creams, there'll be like 2 to 3 shades, so this is good in terms of that, but in terms of like a more American spectrum of colors, really not good. It focuses mainly on the light and pale type shades. There is a deep shade, not that that makes up for all of the deep shades that they're missing, but there is a deep shade and a tan looking shade. But like I said, the rest of them are pretty much all pale and light. I got VO2, which is warm light beige. I had a really hard time, like I said, picking out what color I was going to be. A lot of these look like the exact same color with just a very slight difference in undertone. So we'll see. I tried my best. But they say that this is going to give us flawless high coverage that's going to look great even up close. It is going to be long lasting without turning the skin dull, and also while smoothing and moisturizing the skin. It's going to have a velvety smooth finish and be a thin consistency. It's also got some kind of air pore powder in here that keeps the makeup in place. Basically, it claims that it's not going to smudge or anything. And there's also supposed to be no oxidization, which is great. I always say oxidization, but it's just oxidation. Oh, the things we learn. Okay, so they don't really give application instructions, just that you should shake this well before use and also to apply a moderate amount. I guess we'll figure that out. It also says to avoid application around the eye area. I'll proceed with caution. In any case, I am excited to test this out. I hope you guys are excited too, so let's hop on over to my natural daylight setting and then we can do just that. Boop boop. Alright, so here is my face today. Let's take a look at this foundation. It feels like a nice hefty bottle. Oh yes, very nice, very frosted, very glass. Although as much as I love a frosted bottle, it makes it hard to know if that's going to be like what the shade is actually going to look like. In the bottle it looks like it might be a little light, but that might be because of the frosting on the bottle. We shall see. In any case, fellow glasses wearers of the world, as always, I got you covered here today. I am also testing on the first day as always without any primer. Also we'll be testing out with a brush and a beauty blender, which someone seemed very concerned the other day in a review that I never use a wet beauty blender. It's always wet, I promise. Just so you know. So, okay, we are shaking it up and we've got a nice pump here, but you all know the best pumps. Oh, this one's gonna work right away. Yep, best pumps are those that work. It smells like a foundation, yep, and it's a little bit drippy, but it does look a bit thick. Also, oh god, this might be way too light. Okay, well, a lot of people say I use way too much foundation. You know, that's all subjective to how much we all use. We all use different amounts. I don't use all the foundation that I just pumped out, so if that's the concern, now you know, I guess. But, okay, so, like I said, this is looking a little bit light, but not like horrendously so. I will be able to make this work for sure. It's maybe like a shade too light. So not too bad. But it is definitely going on very thin, but still providing a pretty dang good amount of coverage, and it looks like it's looking pretty natural. I mean, it certainly wasn't full coverage on the first go, but like it took away a good amount of darkness. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try this side with a sponge. Yeah, I mean, this didn't have a ton of reviews on Ulta's website, but the reviews it did have, I'm pretty sure it had a 5-star rating. So everybody that tried it loves it. So we shall see if I also end up loving it. That is the hope. But yeah, it's looking good, you guys. Like I said, it feels nice and lightweight so far. Certainly feels like I'm putting on a foundation, so it's not like that. It feels like I'm not wearing a foundation type of foundation, but overall it does not feel heavy. It looks really lightweight and natural with just the one layer. So that gives me hope that on other days when I use a concealer with this, you know, I would only need that one layer of foundation. But just to see how full coverage and buildable this is, I am going to layer it up a little bit, see if we can get rid of the dark spots that are still peeking through. I could be wrong, but I think this is perfumed, which is a little upsetting just in general, but especially if you have sensitive skin like me, you would know that fragrance is a big no-no. And it's not like a super strong fragrance that I'm smelling, but it's kind of like a bath soap type of a smell. So it's not offensive, it just makes me worried. There we go. I think this looks gorgeous, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this might be darkening a little bit, so it might be oxidizing, which is great for me because it looks like it's turning more into my type of a skin shade match. But overall, there you go, just so you know. I think it looks beautiful, the finish on this so far. It looks really nice and natural, has that satin with a slight dewy finish. It's not completely full coverage for me, but overall, I think my pores look nice and smooth, and overall, looks good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup here. I've got a good day ahead of me. I'm going to see the Elton John movie, boop boop. Excited to finally see that and getting work done, errands run, all that good stuff. And as always, I will be taking you all with me so that we can see how this foundation is performing throughout the day. So I will see you all at my next check-in, which will be in just a second here. So I just got back from the movie. I'm here at my mom's place and I figured I should check in. It has been about 4.5 going on 5 hours here, I do believe. And I feel like the foundation is looking good. I hope I'm not kidding myself. I feel like, yeah, it's not transferring too bad, but it is hot as sin. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is what kind of weather it is. But overall, I think we're looking good. I'm looking matte again, it looks like. My face, I feel like it looks really nice and smooth. So, I'm gonna get on with my day. I will probably see you all at the very end of the night. See you in just a second here. Ready? Ding! All right, hello everyone, good evening. It's the end of day 1 here, and we have some things on my face. One of those things being foundation, so this is a good start. It is not perfect by any means, but is good enough that I'm excited to use this with a primer in these upcoming days. I think my skin looks really just natural and smooth. Yeah, I'm oily again. Yeah, it looks like it's come off almost completely on the tip of my nose, where, you know, my nose gets scratchy or whatever. But the other parts of my face, yeah, I'm looking oily, but the foundation is still there. It's starting to gather a bit, like around my mouth. You know, that can be a little normal for me, especially when I'm not wearing a primer. And also, I am noticing now that I've gotten oily again, this is transferring a bit more, but not terribly, you know? It's more so in my really oily areas where I'm noticing more transfer, but even so, it's not a lot. So like I said, I'm excited to keep on trying this. It has felt lightweight enough, you know, I can tell I'm wearing a foundation, but it doesn't feel heavy even with my oils coming through. So I'm pumped, you guys. I'm super pumped to pump this out again on an upcoming day. I don't know why this was a very comfortable position for my hands there. But yeah, I'm excited to keep on testing it. I'm excited to keep on taking you guys with me. So I'm going to conclude that for tonight. I do believe that is all I can really report. Oh, the Elton John movie was really good. There were a couple points where I was like, I don't know, this is a little too musically for me, like the very, very beginning of it, but it ended up being really great. I enjoyed it. Shed a tear, not gonna lie. But in any case, I will be seeing you all in just a second here. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Cassie's Conflicted Corner. I'm so conflicted. I mean, I'm also in the corner of this room and I am Cassie. I really don't think any of that needed explaining, but in any case, it's the end of my third day of testing this foundation out, you guys, and I am just so conflicted. Let me walk you through things. You already saw day one. Now for day two, I went ahead and I used my Guerlain primer. I just had a feeling that that was going to do the best with this foundation. And then I also went ahead and used the Jeffree Star concealer just to see if I could use a lighter layer of this foundation but still have the coverage of a concealer underneath it so that I didn't feel like I needed to layer the foundation on or whatever. And it looked really good, I thought. You know, after initial application it looked smooth and nice and just good at first. I was very nervous because I got very hot at one point and very sweaty. Cassie of the past is going to consult with you here real quick and show you all of that, and then I will be back here in the future, but also technically it's the past because you guys are watching this in the future and Cassie of the past, please take it away. Alrighty, hello everyone. Thank you, Cassie from the future, for letting me tell the people how this is doing in the past. I just got back, or just got out of the post office anyways. Thank you all to anyone who sent me like a birthday card and stuff from the month of June, since it was my birthday month. I really appreciate it. And yeah, my face, it's feeling okay. It's feeling a little bit oily here, just you know, it's really humid outside, but overall I feel like it is looking pretty darn good. I just felt like blotting. Get all of this sticky ick off of my face. I'm not talking about the foundation. I'm just talking about the humidity. My goodness, I wish it would properly rain here. Ah, that's where I needed it the most. My God. So Fiefta, that was a lot, but I feel like it didn't really transfer from that. I'm just getting minimal transfer on my fingers right now. I'm gonna get back on with my day here, so I'm gonna send it back to Cassie of the future. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for checking in. So that was that. I was also just noticing in general, not only on day one, but also on day two, that when I was getting oily feeling, it has the feeling that it's going to transfer. So it just made me scared about it, basically. It also ends up feeling like you're wearing foundation. It's not heavy or uncomfortable. It's just a noticeable feeling. And at the end of the night, I did get oily looking again. So I went ahead and, you know, showed you what that looked like, and I didn't think it looked awful. Like, it was definitely faded in some spots, it had come off in some spots, but overall I thought it faded gracefully. So here on day three, I decided I wanted to try and use this as a mix-in because I just wasn't sure, based on the performance of days 1 and 2, that I'm ever going to really wear this foundation on its own. So I went ahead and I primed my face with my Guerlain primer, since that seemed to work well, and then I also went ahead and I mixed in a little bit. I would say the ratio of the Pretty Vulgar foundation that I mixed in compared to this was like a 1:5 ratio. It wasn't a lot, just because you know, the color of the VDL foundation matches me pretty darn well, so I didn't want to darken it too much with the Pretty Vulgar stuff. And overall, honestly, I thought it looked great. It looked absolutely beautiful upon initial application. Really really smooth, velvety soft, all that good stuff, but still very natural looking. However, even though, you know, it's not like I was out and about and jumping around doing jumping jacks and getting all sweaty and crazy or anything, but I have been busy today, and about 4 hours in I went ahead and checked in because I was feeling pretty oily and I was noticing a bit of transfer, and so I went ahead and blotted my face. I still thought it looked good. It's just got a feeling to it, you know, when you do get oily. So not the end of the world, but that did happen. And then here we are tonight. This is what it's looking like at the end of the night after only like 8 hours, so not a really long stretch for a foundation wear for me, but overall I do think it's still looking really good at the end of the day here. I think out of all of my trial days, today has been the most successful for this foundation, and that's why it has me conflicted, because it performed best as not necessarily a mix-in, but you know, I used something to mix in with it. So let's go ahead, let's talk about our pros and cons here, starting with the pros. I have to give it credit, it blends really smoothly and really evenly on the skin, so application is a breeze. It's also got a beautifully smooth finish. I really do think, at least initially, it does help to kind of just blur the pores, make everything look really even and smooth and nice but still natural. I also give it credit that it fades gracefully. You know, some foundation just comes off in big patches and stuff, but this does seem to just have an overall fade to it, a very gradual fade, even if you do end up touching your face throughout the day. And also, last but not least, it is mostly lightweight. It does get heavier feeling if you do have oily skin like me, but it's not heavy feeling at that point. It's just noticeable that you have foundation on, and that does lead us into the cons here. First up, the shade range. Obviously, it does not have a good shade range, so this is not going to be for a lot of people just based on that, not even the formula, just based on shade range alone. I also do have to say that a con is that this doesn't control oils, because it does say, you know, in the description and everything that it has oil controlling or oil absorbing properties, that pore powder or whatever they say that's mixed into it. I disagree. I get pretty oily pretty quickly with this, or at least just as quickly as with any other foundation, so this does not control oils. It also transfers, not a ton. I mean, this is certainly not as bad as the Maybelline foundation that I recently tested out, the Urban Dream cover or whatever, but it does transfer, and it's just the kind where when you start to feel oily or whatever, and since that is when it starts to transfer the most, it just has you scared to touch anything. Be it, you know, you've got a scratch on your face or you're going to give someone a hug. It just makes you scared. Is it going to transfer everywhere? Not necessarily, but it's a scared feeling. And then last on the cons list is that this is fragranced. Granted, over these past few days I haven't noticed any major breakouts or anything from this foundation, but the fact that there is fragrance in it, it's kind of like on the higher end of the ingredients list if you go and look at the ingredients online. So I just think fragrance is so unnecessary in makeup, especially makeup that like coats your skin, aka foundation or skincare. So that's my verdict on this foundation. I think it would probably work best for people, probably if you have dry or normal skin, this would probably look beautiful on you, because it seems like a lot of the problems that come with this foundation are due to oils. So if you have oily skin like me, I would not recommend it, but like I said, if you have dry or normal skin, you might want to give this a shot. Combo skin, be wary, because you have oily spots on your face as well. So I hope this review was helpful for you guys. If any of you also noticed this new line of products on Ulta's website, let me know in the comments down below if you have tried out this foundation or any other VDL products. How do you like them? Do you not like them? What kind of skin do you have? All that good stuff. It's always good to cook up a nice casserole of comments with you guys in the comment section down below. You can also let me know if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful by giving me a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can tippity tap that notification bell down below. Become a member of my casserole family, be it here on this channel, or I do have a second channel if you want to go ahead and check that out as well. I would love to have you here, there, and everywhere. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!